There is also export detention, export container detention. This fee is charged for an exporter who has come to pick up the container to take to his yard or warehouse to load and return for shipment. But upon receipt, loading did not return it on time. Shipping line charge a fee after 5 free days for pickup without returning the loaded full container on time. If the container is not returned during the free period, shipping line will charge detention fee for the additional days and the container stays in the possession of the consignee. How do you prevent prevention? The reason you are learning all this is to be a consultant to your customer. So when you have customer, import customer, export customer, and they are having this issue, then you talk like someone that understands trade and advise them. And let me tell you, when you demonstrate to your customer you are a consultant by being able to offer a solution to their problem, you become their best fan. They want to do business with you because you are helping them solve their problem. Hiring truck in good condition, hiring truck from olive firm with guaranteed period of delivery, hiring truck from olive firm that have full facility to monitor the truck in transit, ensuring prompt unloading of goods from the container upon arrival at the warehouse, and ensuring speedy return of the empty container is a way to prevent detention fee. Damages. Damages involve defect to the imported goods or even exported goods. It could occur at different points from the port of production to delivery at the warehouse. This is one of the risks of import trade that are often neglected by importers. And it has the tendency to not only make transactions to be less profitable, it could make it to be a loss at the end of the day. There are a lot of factors that cause damage or defectiveness in goods being shipped from the point of production to the point of delivery. An importer should therefore ensure that proper mitigants are put in place to prevent losses that will occur due to damages and defectiveness in goods. Number one, factory-induced damages. This is a type of damage that results from defect in the production at the seller's factory. It could be due to negligence or lack of quality control measures. Loading-induced damages. This is a type of damage that occurs in the course of loading and unloading of goods from the warehouse into the truck or from the truck into the container. There's packaging-induced damages. These packaging-induced damages result from the use of packaging material that are unsuitable for protection of goods from sunlight or moisture. There was a story, this is a true life story in Nigeria, of an importer of stockfish. In local parlance, they call it oporoko. This importer was importing oporoko from, I think, Norway. The oporoko was, the stockfish was in a corrugated carton. The good in transit experienced tempest on the sea, with the sea raging and water splashing on the vessel. The water then touched the container, seeped through the space between the door and the container wall, and enter and touch the carton. The carton was not laminated. The wetness of the carton touched the dry fish inside. The dry fish started to decay. By the time the container was opened in Nigeria, half of it was decayed, rotting, smelling, because of package-induced damages. Transit-induced damages. This is a type of damage that is dependent on other damage-causing factor. A defective product will result in further damage during loading and in transit. How do you prevent damages? Number one. How do you prevent damages? Number one, if your country have inspection process into the country, engage government inspection agent to do the inspection of goods before shipment. If that is not existent, you can get any of those agents that some use to do pre-shipment inspection for you by yourself. You can also insure the goods, but insure is clause A. Clause A covers all risk. You can do due diligence using Dun and Bradstreet to help you investigate this exporter to be sure that if the good is one that is prone to damage, you can be sure they are careful in their delivery. And lastly, you can put condition on your sales contract to say that if there is a defective good, you will have to pay for it. Let's talk about delay. Delay can be described by a situation in which something happened later than it should. In international trade transaction, it could be delay in goods, delay in issuance of shipping documents, delay in sending shipping documents. This can pose a serious challenge for an importer in a trade transaction because Delay leads to incurring demurrage and consequently increase the cost of importation of goods. Delay in trade transaction can therefore make items being imported to become less profitable and even result in a loss. A banker who is funding an import transaction needs to know the point where this delay will occur in order to ensure proper monitoring and verify the processes and systems that importers have put in place to significantly reduce them. What are the causes of delay? Number one, document-induced delay. Remember, international trade is a business of documentation. So documentary issue could cause delay. This results from the issuance of documents, usually by third party, and some document issuance depend on the issuance of the order. For example, issuing a pre-shipment report can require issuance of bill of lading. Both of them is going to be issued by third parties. Logistic-induced delay. This is the type of delay that results from movement of goods from the factory to the warehouse or shipping line terminal, and then the port of loading to the port of discharge. Discrepancy-induced delay. This is another document-related delay. It's called by discrepancy between the terms of letter of credit and shipping document presented. Port bureaucracy-induced delay. The seaport is manned by different agencies of government performing different duties at the same time on the same transaction. This bureaucracy can create inefficiencies that tends to delay import clearing process. Courier-induced delay. Remember, documents for clearing are sent all the way from the exporter to the importer, and they are sent via courier. This was why during COVID, it was a big challenge, big headache. During COVID, it was a big challenge, big headache. During COVID, it was a very, very big challenge and big headache. Why? Because COVID created a problem. COVID created a problem that did not allow plane to fly. The implication of that is that because plane could not fly, document could not be sent by courier. And that was a big challenge on international trade in the world. Big challenge. It caused delay in clearing. This is another document-related delay. Since shipping documents have to be sent by courier between one country or the other, there could be delay in delivery, and this often results from error or inefficiency in the courier company. Bank-induced delay. All import transactions in Nigeria, for example, pass through the bank, and this is the same for some other countries. So inefficiency of banks can constitute delay in processing duty assessment, which in turn leads to delay in clearing the good at the port. Clearing agents induce delay. This final lap in import process is the clearing and delivery of goods, and the speed of clearance in this last phase largely dependent on the competency of the agent clearing the goods. The relationship he has with the agency at the port determine a lot how far he can get it done, and the competence. Very important for importers to audit agents very well before engaging them for this task. How do you solve the problem of delay? Monitoring, so you know when it's happening and nip it in the bud. Monitoring the declaration form processing at the beginning of import, monitoring duty assessment and evaluation, monitoring duty payment and port charges, monitoring the clearing process, monitoring sourcing of haulage fare, monitoring the truck in transit, monitoring delivery of goods to the warehouse, monitoring return of container, monitoring delivery of exchange control document to the bank, monitoring pre-shipment inspection, monitoring stuffing and transporting of the container to the port. Monitoring. That is the way to solve this problem. Monitoring.